So yes, guys, question. How would you feel if you were to meet a certain individual's expectation of you and in return the same person didn't do the same for you as well? I hope that made sense. But anyway, let's get into it. So what up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Luke, and guys, thank you so much for joining me today. So yes, today's topic comes from a very interesting TikTok video where one of the TikTokers, a lady, was posed with a question. And the question being, what will I, as a man, entering a relationship with a single mother, gain from raising another man's child? You know? And so this video is her response to this individual's question. So, well, with that said, guys, let's get into it.
This is the ignorant mentality that I speak about. This type of man is a low value man. He has no purpose, nor does he know who God created him to be. To make a comment to say, how does it benefit you to raise somebody else's kid? How does it benefit for you to cash someone else's kid? Shows that you have no emotional intelligence. You have no intellect. Okay, because see, the reality of it is we're all God's creatures. If you are in love with someone, you embrace their children as if they're yours. Okay, and the reason you would do that, if you have an understanding of what you believe and how you believe it, God takes us and he makes us his own, right? So when he actually died on the cross, the gospel was given to the Jews, and yet the Jews did not care about the Gentiles, and he grabbed.
Okay. Let's pause there. Okay, I believe she talked about a lot of things, and we can literally uncover a lot. Okay, first and foremost, that's not a wrong mentality. It's not an ignorant mentality. I don't believe that question is coming. In fact, I don't see that question as coming from a very ignorant mentality. No. I mean, it's a valid question that requires a valid response. So on that part, I do disagree with her. Reason being is because, well, we all enter relationships with expectations. So he's just asking a simple question. That is, what do I get? Because at the end of the day, guys, whether we like it or not, whether society has taught us or not, because it's crazy, every person should have a standard. So in this case, this person has a standard by which he lives by. And that standard is, well, I should be getting something in return somehow and somewhere. So he's questioned by that very, perspective, or by that very standing. His question is valid because he's simply asking. I mean, we all enter relationship with expectations and all. So he's simply asking, what do I gain from raising another man's child? And yes, that required a very reasonable response, and I don't like her approach to it. Reason being is because, well, I do understand based on your belief and all, but you should realize, well, when it comes to dating and the world, the dating market and all, not everyone lives by the same beliefs, and we can't expect everyone to live by the same beliefs. So her placing those standards for people to meet, that is, you should take me as I am, you should take me as, with what I have, those are unrealistic, quite unrealistic. In fact, those are standards a lot of people can't meet, because we all are required to have standards. And yes, so yes, that's the first point. The second point being, well, it's not selfish. In fact, guys, it's not selfish for you to have standards. Yes, I guess that's the perspective I wanted to go with this video. It's not selfish for you to have standards of your own that the next person should meet. Because majority of time, yes, going back to society and the expectation society has placed on people, we see that majority of time, personally, from my own personal perspective or opinion, majority of men are expected to somehow, what can I say? Lower their standard. Let me put it that way. Yes, majority of men are expected to somehow lower the standards when it comes to relationships, and it's only the other parties whose standards should be met, which is a bit unfair. Because why am I required to lower my standards and the other party hold their standards to high standards? I hope I'm making sense. So yes, So I felt majority of time there's that battle there, because one party is expected to lower the standard for the other party, and the other party doesn't want to lower the standard for the other party, which is the man in this case. That's my personal opinion and from personal observation. That's how I feel. Like, men are expected to lower the standard, and in this case, this woman displays that clearly before our eyes, and which is a bit unfair, because why should that man, right, lower his standards to meet your standards? Because imagine in the case where this same person, this man, right, had to approach this lady. Let's just supposedly, right, assume that this lady didn't have a child, right, and this man didn't have a job, right, and she had a job. Imagine if this man had to approach this lady with the same type of expectations, such as, well, I don't work, right, you should just take me as I am, because I don't work. Because in the same, in the same token, expenses have to be made. If it's a man who's not working, she has to do all the expenditures. And in the case where she has a child, the man has to do all the expenditures on behalf of this child to maintain this child, girl or boy's, life, whatever he has to spend on that. So I believe it's equal. So in the case where this man didn't have a job as well, I don't think this woman would lower a standard for this guy. Reason being is because a man who doesn't have a job is, perceived to be, of course, a loser. And so, yeah, in that case, it's a bit unfair, because why should he now lower his standards because she's in that position, her as a single mother? I mean, she's literally putting her standards up here, and the guy is simply asking, well, your standards are up here. What do I get if I meet your standards? And the response is, you are selfish for not meeting my standards. But no, it's not like that, because whether you believe it or not, personally, I believe relationships are an investment, whether we like it or not, guys, whether we admit it or not. So in this case, this man is asking, well, what do I gain for spending my resources? And she's like, you selfish, which is like, well, it doesn't make sense, lady. How can he be selfish? He's not ignorant. He's just asking, if I put my resources in this, will I reap something out of it? And those are his expectations. I personally believe, well, they're not unrealistic. He's just asking a question because, hey, man, everyone has standards. Everyone has standards, whether we like it or not. We all have standards. And every individual we meet and we want to enter a relationship with should meet these standards. And if not possible, we can compromise to the point where we don't hurt ourselves in the process. I guess that's where we settle this, the meeting of expectation. Everyone has expectations, because, yeah, you have to set a certain bar to say, okay, cool. If this person doesn't reach this, I have to lower it to this point where I do not compromise so bad that I hurt myself in the process. But nevertheless, guys, let's continue with the video.
He makes us his own, right? So when he actually died on the cross, the gospel was given to the Jews, and yet the Jews did not care about the Gentiles, and he grafted us in, the Gentiles, which it didn't belong to us, but he grafted us in. We're now considered his. We're not considered stepchildren. So when you carry a mentality as ignorant as cashing out somebody else's kid, it shows that you lack any integrity, any morality. It shows that you're self-centered and possibly narcissistic. It shows many different things. And this is why so many families are broken, and especially in the Black community. Let's talk about that. This is why our...
Okay, I guess, okay, let me talk about that. Okay, cool. I also understand, you see, looking at this video, right? I understand where the lady is coming from. I do understand 100% where she's coming from. But, I mean, ma'am, whether you like it or not everyone shares within your belief. And not everyone walks by the same beliefs you walk by. And not only that, we can't use a biblical narrative to explain, we can't use a biblical narrative. I'm trying to put this properly. We can't use a biblical narrative to somehow explain why people should meet our standards. Yes, that's what I wanted to make. That's the point. We can't use that. You can't be like, oh no, Jesus accepted everyone and loved everyone for whom they are, So on that same token, you should love me for who I am, just like Jesus did. No, sister, no, it doesn't work like that. If it did, well, the world will be, better place. It will, definitely. But no, not everyone lives by those standards. Not only that, it's just hard to live by those standards. And funny enough, she doesn't even realize that that's an ignorant mentality. Expecting others to bend to your standards and meet your standards. And in the same process, you refuse to meet their standards, which is like, well, man, that's crazy, man. That's just too crazy. So, and quite unrealistic. So with that said, guys, it's crazy. Wait, there's a part. Yes. I feel like at the end of this video, right, she stated, she made a statement that really revealed where this was coming from. What opinion on this matter was the way in which it was. Yeah.
You would never get a woman like me. And I'm a single mom. And I tell you what, best believe, I have people in my DMs every single day. Not because just the way I look, but honey, I have integrity. I have morality. I carry myself in such a manner that whoever I am with, I am going to make them look good, as well as they should make
me look good. Yes. I think she was supposed to end like that. I feel she was supposed to end like that, yes. But you can already see she was projecting. And, well, which is understandable because it's frustrating. I mean, I'm sure she wants someone, but majority of people are like, nah, I can't do that. Which is, you know what? She's justified, but I don't like her approach and her mentality. I do understand the frustration on that part. She's justified because, hey, no one wants to take on a responsibility. So I feel the best thing she can do is, guess what? Meet someone with your same expectations as you, because they have the same load as you, They have kids, you have kids. So it's that way it goes nice, because you can't expect a single person, to, like, if a man has to do that, well, I do clap for other guys, because, man, that's a big heart. Like, that's a massive heart, man. You are really, you take the cup, because personally, nah, that's too heavy. I want to start on a clean slate. I want to start everything up fresh, build up everything on my own, because I don't want to start already with liabilities, I guess we should just learn to be a bit realistic with our standards at some point, which is a bit hard to take. It's quite difficult to say, okay, cool, I belong to this social group or this social, class. I need to stick to it. It's quite difficult. So I do understand where she's coming from. So guys, let's just do that. I mean, let's be realistic with our standards. I mean, you can't be living in a middle class area and be expecting a billionaire to come and marry you, because what are the chances of that happening? That's like very rare. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. It is possible, but a bit too far-fetched. The best thing you can do is hope that a good person from your area, middle class place to middle class area, to come and marry you. That's the best thing you can expect. You can't be like, I'm going to be marrying a multi-billionaire or multi-millionaire, but it's not your social class. The chances of that happening are quite slim. So we shouldn't really dream. I'm not saying dreaming is bad. I'm saying dreaming is good. It's actually good because it's possible, but chances of that happening are quite rare. We just have to accept, to some extent, just accept reality and things for the way they are. So in this case, for her, she should have just accepted things for the way they are. People really can't change your expectations because people have their own expectations at the end of the day. So guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this specific video. And I guess I'll be seeing you on the next one. Ciao.